released in Season 4 this morning, a bunch of guns have been nerfed and buffed, changing the whole dynamic of the game, and I'll be giving you all the meta loads so you can stay in the loop. Before we start, shout out to Sub Squad to be featured, comment down below, and if you want to play with me on streams, make sure to join the Discord down in the description, and let's get straight to it. Okay, starting with the patch notes, we had the BP50 getting a nerf with it and its Revenger kit. Getting increased movement, sprint speed, tactical sprint, movement speed. This thing is absolutely getting slapped down, but it's still meta with the loadouts later in the video. With about 27,000 in the battle pass last season, getting a mid-range increase, and it's getting all a buff because they probably want to push that gun out so more people use it, because I didn't see anybody using that last season. With the Holger 5.56, the near mid damage is increased, so it's getting a buff. And the SP is getting a nerf with the headshot mid-range getting decreased. This thing will absolutely not slap anymore. It's pretty sad. MCW getting a buff with the increase from 22 up from 20. With the MTZ getting a max damage range pushing up. This one will be getting a buff. Castall 762 will be getting another buff. This thing used to be pretty okay last season. Chimera is getting a damage increase. I haven't heard that name in so long. The ISO Hemlock's getting also a buff. MR9 is getting a buff as well. We will see that later in this video. FJX Horse will be getting a huge buff. Look at all this. I'm not reading all that. Rival 9 should be getting a buff and then an increased fire rate for its conversion kit. Striker 9 is getting a nerf, and then 2 more nerfs that are coming to it. And then WSP 9 is getting another nerf, sadly. For the DG58, the headshot modifier is decreased, with the bullet velocity also being decreased, but this thing is still meta. And then the Holger 26 getting a buff, and the XRK Stalker getting a nerf, which I didn't see anybody using this. Moving on to the meta loads for Season 4, you won't believe this, and let's get straight to it. Alright, so the first weapon we're going to have is the FJX Horse. It recently got a buff, and is now one of the best movement SMGs inside of Warzone. So we're going to stick on is a Zenman compensator with the DR6 hand stop, the overpressured rounds, 48 round mag, and the Roost 90. Alright, now in the range, take a look at this. It's pretty insane. The recoil is a little bit kicky, but in my opinion, this is for people who want to have that close-up range. You always love hitting those YYs. This is perfect for you. Next up for the long range, you have the DG58 LSW. This thing has been a meta for a long time, but recently it's got a little bit of a nerf, but it's pretty insane still. So we're going to run the Cassis break on it to get rid of that horizontal recoil. Get that Bruin Heavy to knock out every single bit of that recoil they're going to have. Next up we have the Woody Long Barrels. Are going to help you with your long range, which this gun is built for. The Jack Glasses Optic that removes practically all of the visual recoil. And then the recoil reduction butt plate for more recoil dispersion. Hopping in the range. This thing has absolutely no recoil. Like I said, I don't even have to move my sticks at all. You can try this out for yourself. But just take a look at this. Even for long range and short range, this thing is absolutely insane. And paired up with any other SMG, this will make a meta loadout. Next up, we're going to have the Zen compensator, which will help out with its recoil. A whole bunch. And then we're going to have the XRK Edge BW4 hand stop. Next up, we're going to have an overpressure with the 50 round mag and the Jack Glasses optic for reduced visual recoil. Heading into the range, this thing is an absolute beast. And in Warzone, if you hit your shots, this thing absolutely slaps. Just with the lower time rate of fire, you're going to have to hit your shots, but with every round actually meaning something. Look, I can't even when it moves, it just slaps. Mid-range, it's definitely not its cup of tea, but it's definitely better than most weapons right now. But we're going to run the Zen compensator, the XRK hand stop, 50 round drum, the second ZK grip, and the Striker factory stock. This is for short to mid-range. Me personally, this doesn't fit my gameplay. Me personally, I don't run this gun, but is perfect for any of those casual players out there that just want a gun that can mow down through people. Next up, for my personal favorite, we have the BP50. This thing has absolutely no recoil, and it slaps like an SMG. We're going to run on it with the Cassis brake to get rid of that horizontal recoil, with the Chimera laser sight, the overpressured rounds, and the IV grip tape. Hopping in the range, this thing has absolutely no recoil and it slaps. This thing, like, even with mid-range, it's actually insane. If you want to run with a casual gunplay and no recoil, this gun is perfectly for you. I would pair this up with the DG58, and this gun will absolutely blow your mind how much no recoil it has. Next up, we have an unsung hero, and that is the AMR9. This thing, you only find it in loot crates, but it actually saves you in the game. But now I have an actual loadout for it. Now we're going to use a T51R billeted brake. This thing will move all the vertical recoil. And I'm going to use an MK3 reflector, 50 round drum, the X10 grip, and the XRK Edge B4 hand stop. Heading into the range, this thing is an absolute beast with a little bit of recoil, but this thing absolutely slaps even without any like rounds or anything on it. This thing will not be for your mid-range because this thing has too much recoil for it, but if you're in Resurgence or Rebirth Island, this thing actually will slap for you. Another absolute meta is the normal striker. This thing slaps, and here's the class setup. We're going to run the Zem compensator with the XRK Edge, the Striker Longbeard, the Slate Reflector, and the No Stock. This thing is for all my movement demons, but this thing will slap either way with absolutely no recoil, but it does have a low rate of fire, so you're going to have to hit your shots no matter what. Even for mid-range, this thing will slap for you when we have that long bear on it. Me personally, this is one of my favorite loadouts. I've been running this for a while, even in Season 3, but for Season 4, this thing will be even better. Starting a trend, here we have another underrated weapon. This is the STB556. This thing is actually insane, and you gotta check this loadout out. First up, we're going to run the Spitfire Suppressor with the X10 Nexus grip, the 42 round mag, the Jack Glasses optic, and the Bruin Gorilla. Firing range, we're going to aim down the sight. Look at this. It's actually insane. This aim down sight speed is a little slow, but this will make up with this long range hitting weapon. This thing mid-long range is actually insane. The time to kill is pretty good, and it has no recoil, just like the DG56. It's pretty unsung hero, and people will question you for using it, but I will not. Bringing back Cold War weapons, we got the old XM4 and the M16. This thing is absolutely insane, and when you pair with the right weapons, this thing is insanely good. We're going to use the Jack Patriot conversion kit with the Cassius brake, the Bruin heavy support grip, the 60 round mag, and the Jack Glasses optic. Heading into the range, this thing absolutely slaps. It has almost no recoil whatsoever. Kind of feels like the old gun, not going to lie. Mid-range, it's pretty good. Short range, it's also pretty good. I would not recommend this for long range, but for maps like Rebirth Island, this thing is absolutely insane. The aim down sight speed is a little disappointing, but honestly, if you can handle it, it's pretty good. Another unsung hero is the Vaznev 9K. I bring it back from Modern Warfare 2. This thing has a little bit of slow of time to kill, but the recoil will make up for it. We're going to use the Zem Flash Hider, XRK hand stop, the 9mm overpressured rounds, and the Razor Hawk laser sight, and the whatever this thing is called, stock. Hopping into the range, this thing honestly has no recoil. It's one of the lowest recoil, but the time to kill is a little slow. I will use this with caution, but if you're just trying to find a good loadout for Modern Warfare 2, I will pick this up, me personally. For more early bangers like this, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.